YouTube, what's good? We're back on this thing. Today we're going to be going over this really simple transition that just uses some blur, some glow, and a little bit of masking and keyframing. I figured I'd go over a little bit more of a simple tutorial today, just because I want to show you guys some really basic effects that are default in Premiere that you can use to make your video look really professional without really doing too much work, and you can even turn it into a preset. So this one will probably be a lot quicker. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because I do a lot of music video effect tutorials, vlogs on what it's like doing music videos, what it's like being a YouTuber, a lot more business side of being a visual creative. We're going for 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so it'd be really appreciated. It's free, and you'll be notified when I post more videos like this. Because this video is quick, let's go for 1,000 likes in this video, 100 comments. Really does help push my content to other people that want to see the videos. I know it's probably pretty annoying me always asking for likes and comments and stuff, but it really does help push my content to other people, helps the channel grow so we can hit our goal. So I really do appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, go above and beyond, you can go over to my website, briandalmada.com. I have a few digital products up on there right now, a texture pack and a thermal pack. I plan on releasing a lot more digital products that are going to save you time. It helps me out as a creator, as well as gives you guys a really high quality digital asset. If you're interested in that, I'll have it linked below, as well as some tutorials on the products I have. If you guys are OG and you remember the tutorial miss days where I was uploading every single day of December of 2020, I'm actually going to be doing a very similar thing right now. I'm going to be Twitch streaming every single day of the month of May, as well as uploading to TikTok. So if you're not following me on Twitch, go over there, check it out. We react to music videos. I stream me editing. I've noticed just a lot of people coming in, interacting, and networking. It's really cool to see other people's work, as well as you guys get to learn some stuff. I get to learn some stuff. It's really cool overall. And then TikTok, I'm going to be just expanding a lot more content, doing little mini tutorials, as well as trying out some new content just for TikTok. Excited to see you guys over on Twitch. I'll have a link in the description, as well as my TikTok and all my social medias. That's enough talking for right now. Let's get into the video, break down this effect, because this is going to be pretty quick. So here's the effect I made. You can see real quick. I'll go ahead and render it. It's a really simple transition. You can see that the blur and the glow go around your subject. So here we have snot, and it's blurred out everywhere besides snot. And then I just keyframed it a little bit so it goes around skies here. And it's really simple. It's pretty appealing to the eye. I think it's a real quick transition, and it helps the viewer focus on the next point in the clip. So when it's transitioning, it's pretty easy because the cut's really good. Cole did a real good cut here, and your eye doesn't strain from like where to go. So say like snot was over here and then skies was over here, it would transition a little bit better, but I still think it helps out the transition. It's a real simple one, and you can do it throughout the music video a lot without it being super repetitive, because honestly, most viewers aren't even going to pick up on that. It is so quick, but I think it looks good. And if you have a high energy song, I think you could use it a lot throughout, and it wouldn't get repetitive, or it doesn't take much time, because you could actually just turn this into a preset. So what I first did is I'm going to go ahead and delete the clip that I have the effect on, is I just found the spot where it transitions between the two clips. Obviously, if you have your own music video or whatever, you'll have the split, so I just went ahead and split it. And then I went 3 frames backwards, and then hold Alt, and that'll drag it up and duplicate your clip. And then 3 frames forward, 1, 2, 3, and then hold Alt. So now you have this layer of 2 clips above. I just went ahead and deleted the audio so we don't get copyrighted or anything. But now that you have your 2 clips above, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just click Nest, and then transition. That's going to make it into one clip, so you can just keyframe easily throughout the whole thing. And then I'm going to go to the middle clip here, go to effects, and type in Directional Blur. Directional Blur is built in. All these effects I'm going to be using in this video are going to be built in to Premiere, so you're not going to have to download anything. It's really easy. And then I'm just going to drag up the blur direction a little bit, and you can see how that affects your clip. It's just a blur, and honestly, you could keyframe it here, go to the beginning, go to 0, go all the way to the end of the clip, go to 0, so it's 3 frames in the middle is the strongest, and you can see even that's a pretty clean transition. Motion directional blur is a cool transition, but I'm going to show you a few things that I did to make it look a little bit better, and some things that you can do, so just some ideas. But let's go over the effect that I showed first, and then we can go over and talk about some things that maybe you want to try out in your own video. So I went ahead and used VR Glow. It's a built-in glow in Premiere. Drag that onto your clip. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the directional blur real quick just to see what we're affecting. And I'm gonna turn down the threshold because it seems like it's not really affecting much yet. I'm gonna go to like I think 0.5 looks good. It's like having the whites and the highlights kind of pop. And then maybe play around with the radius a little bit. Get something you like. Actually, I think default looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more, like 110. And I'm going to keyframe the brightness to 1, go all the way to the end, keyframe that to 0, and then likewise keyframe at the end to 0. So basically the values of every keyframe is the strongest in the middle, and then it goes down to 0 on both sides. If you render that out, you can see that it has this little flash, and it's cool, but when you add the directional blur on top of it, go ahead and render that. You can see that looks a little bit better, but you can see it kind of just affects everywhere. And I think it looks good, but like I think masking out your subject and just having a little bit of that feather looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna go to this frame right here where it transitions between, and I'm just gonna mask out skies real quick. You can go over here to where it says fit and change it like something like 50, so you can go around your subject pretty easily. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click invert so it's everywhere else. And you can see now it's cool, it works for skies, but now we have to keyframe around, and we also have to feather so it looks a little bit smoother, so you won't be able to see the line. So I just cranked it up to, like, for me 250 works, and you can see that it blends the edges. But now you can see snot, the blur is just not in the right spot. And make sure to keyframe the mask path, and then you can go where snot is, and you can see that it's not properly masked out around him, and we can click on the mask here, and as long as you keyframe that position before, you should be able to now move it around your other subject, for our case snot here, and just tweak it however you want. It doesn't have to be too precise, but I think it's good if you spend a little time. If you can see these dotted lines around here, what the dotted lines are is the feather, so you can see where it starts fading. You can bring it a little closer to your subject so it kind of fades into them. I think that looks cool. So it has a little bit of glow and blur on your subject as well. It's not necessary, and you can do whatever you want really, but that's just what I'm gonna do here. Changing a few things here. And for our case, our subject is pretty stationary, and since it's only 3 frames anyways, it's relatively no movement. But if you needed to, say your subject went from here to here, you would just have to keyframe that in a little bit more. But for our case, snot is standing in the same spot, same with skies pretty much. I'm gonna go ahead and click enter and render that out. And then I just went back and clicked fit here so we can see it a little bit better. Make it full screen. And that's a pretty cool transition. Some things you can do to make it maybe a little bit smoother is you can highlight all your keyframes and then right click and click Bezier. It's basically like easing your keyframes in After Effects if you're familiar. Some things you can do if you don't want to actually end up masking out your subject, or you can do this as an addition with it. These are kind of just ideas now. Basically the effect's over. You could do this and it would look good. But some other things you can screw around with is maybe Luma key. Bring that onto your clip. And if you get this error that says effect GPU acceleration, just bring the Luma key all the way to the top. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the effects for right now so we can see what we're doing, and also turn off the bottom layer because that's what Luma key is it keys out some of the areas. You can see we also have the mask on, but if you go ahead and just toggle that right there, effects, you can see what we're doing completely, and you could have it affect a little bit less. So you wanted it to just affect the highlights as well as this mask and that. So you can see it would just be doing this part. And then if you obviously go ahead and turn back on your footage layer and see what's going on here, and you can tweak around with it a little bit until you get something you like, render that out. That's pretty cool. You could even turn off the mask for this if you wanted to, and you could replace the mask with it. That still looks pretty cool. I'm a fan more so of the mask itself. Luma key was just an idea. Some other things you can do instead of masking out your subject perfectly, if you wanted to just do more of a effect, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. You guys might not like it, or you guys might like it depending on your style, but you could even do like half of the screen with the blur and then feather a little bit, and you can see it kind of has this drag, almost like dragging down looking effect. It's almost like a stretch effect, and you can crank up that. If you do this, you could even add the Luma key back in as well, and then just make sure to drag it above so it doesn't have that GPU acceleration error, and then it would just be tweaking some stuff. You play with it till you get something you like. I think that looks pretty cool. It almost has like a pixel sorting kind of look, but it's pretty unique and it's built in. Maybe crank it up a little bit more. You could really get creative with the masks, different keys. You could replace directional blur for Gaussian blur, radial blur, basically any of the blurs that are built into Premiere. You could replace some of the glows with other effects. Honestly, this is a really easy effect that I know probably most of the people that watched my videos actually know how to do already. It was more so just the idea and the concept behind it. Obviously, if you've been editing for a while, you know about keyframing and directional blur and glow and all this stuff. But I think a lot of times editors think that they need like Sapphire, Universe, all these different plugins to have cool effects and transitions. When it's not the case, you can actually just go ahead, play around with some default stuff in Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, all these programs, and get a cool look with just a little bit of knowledge of the program itself. So I figured I'd share this. I appreciate everyone that made it all the way to the end. It really does mean a lot. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and follow my Twitch. I'm going to be live every single day of May. If it's May and you're watching this video, there's a good chance I'm live right now or going to be live today or soon. If I'm live, go say what's up. I'm always talking with the chat and everything. It's been a real good time. I think we're like 4 days in. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this one. Peace.